Celebrating 4 years of talk like you've never heard it before. This is GABNET, the Great American Broadcast Network.
Hey everybody, this is Alex Bennett, host of the Ramble, heard here and seen here on GABNET, Tuesday through Fridays, live at 10 p.m. Eastern Time, and I got some big news for you. Our program has moved its live video from Facebook Live to YouTube Live. After extensive tests in our GABNET laboratories of at least 10 minutes, our mind was made up and we've come to the conclusion that YouTube is superior not only in video quality but audio as well. And then there's the ease of watching it. Here's what you do. Simply point your browser to youtube.com/Bolo Bennett/live. That's youtube.com/Bolo Bennett, BOLOBENNETT/live. And you're there. The player is waiting, and you do.
Celebrating 4 years of talk like you've never heard it before. This is GABNET, the Great American Broadcast Network.
Hey everybody, this is Alex Bennett, host of the Ramble, heard here and seen here on GABNET, Tuesday through Fridays, live at 10 p.m. Eastern Time, and I got some big news for you. Our program has moved its live video from Facebook Live to YouTube Live. After extensive tests in our GABNET laboratories of at least 10 minutes, our mind was made up and we've come to the conclusion that YouTube is superior not only in video quality but audio as well. And then there's the ease of watching it. Here's what you do. Simply point your browser to youtube.com/Bolo Bennett/live. That's youtube.com/Bolo Bennett, BOLOBENNETT/live. And you're there. The player is waiting, and you do nothing, and when the show begins, so does the player. Couldn't be simpler. In fact, tag that page as a permanent tab on your browser, and you're ready to go. And if all of this is too vexing for you, well, just go to gabnet.net near showtime, and the player in the middle of the page will start to play when we're on. We're thrilled with the new quality our move has provided, and while you're there, would you do me a favor and please subscribe to our channel? No, I beg you to. Hey, listen to me, I'm groveling, okay? I know, it's pathetic. I'm sorry, I'm debasing myself, and I really shouldn't be. Please.
Celebrating 4 years of talk like you've never heard it before. This is GABNET, the Great American Broadcast Network.
I will try and sing. Hey everybody, wait a minute, let me just show you me. Okay, there we go. We're on finally. Somehow my music thing here that plays all the music and everything stopped working, and I just went in and changed the output on it, and at least it's working. All right, so that's good. Oh man, oh man, oh man, I just want to kill myself. You know, it's always one thing or another. And that kind of bothers me, you know. It's because you come in here and you just want to do a show, right? And all of a sudden there's one problem after another. Girlfriend won't be here because she went to bed. She wasn't feeling well anyway, so any excuse she could have not to do the show was okay with her, and it's okay with us. She needs the rest. She needs to be well, and but the trooper that she is, she was willing to come in here, and then everything that could possibly go wrong was going wrong. I was pushing buttons that weren't starting stuff, and I couldn't figure out why we weren't getting sound out of it. I did a workaround. I don't think I fixed the problem. But then again, you know, it was working this afternoon. It's this thing that plays the music. It's this dealie. Like I have a thing and it has a rack, and then I can push something and I get, see, like
This is GabNet.
See, but I had to go through another input in order to get it to work. But nothing changed between when I used it today and now. But something could have changed. Something could have changed the setting. And I don't even know if I have it on the correct setting, but it's working, so that's all that matters. So anyway, this is what I have to put up with. I in broadcasting, you like to do a show, right? Go on, do a show, get off. Hey, had a good show. Thanks for joining us, right? But you don't want to be at the mercy of the technology. And we are, even more so in this than in radio. In radio, I had a microphone. The microphone was attached to a control board. It had a volume switch on it. That control board was then, believe it or not, there was a line going out of it to the transmitter, which was usually in the next room, okay? And then you went out on the air. Now, the only thing that could go wrong was something between your microphone and the transmitter, and that was just a short distance. But now it's everything. I mean, it's this thing with that thing, and is this set up properly? And are we going out on the, it's misery, folks. But I don't have to tell you that. You know what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go to the citizen panel. What the hell? We're open for business. So if anybody wants to call me, fine. If not, I'm so exhausted I could just stop now. But true to my fashion, rather than just say tonight, okay, that's it, I've had it, I'm not going to do it again, right? I decided to do it. So here we are. And so now I got to wait for people to call because a lot of people thought we weren't going on the air, and so they weren't listening to us to see if we were here. But we're here. And we're going out, and the picture's going out really nice, and all of that. And what's saying? Tech difficulties. Where'd we go? Woo. Poor girl. She looks adorable even when she's sick. And the technical difficulties resolved. Applause. I'm just glad a radical political group didn't hijack the show. It was the only a technical issue. Yeah, only a technical issue. Well, here comes Phil. Life can't be that bad. Here's my friend Phil. He joined us here. Hello, Phil.
Yeah, did you get my Facebook thing? I thought I knew what it was because I have the same rack.
And, what did you think it was?
Well, you go into preferences, and you just make sure you got the right output. There's two places for preferences. You can do it through the preferences on the computer, and then there's a preference section under Soundbite Lite.
Yeah, and that's where I went, and I changed the input. But I don't know. I changed the output. I changed it from default.
Oh.
It may not have been a default before. I don't know.
My computer just updated. It's the Mac, but it said there were updates, and
updates for what though?
I don't know. I pressed the thing and I said reboot, and it said 31 minutes.
That 31-minute deal.
Yeah,
drives
it ended
me
up being about 10.
It drives me fucking nuts, and I'm going to tell you why. That's the Mac. That has nothing to do with the rack, okay, that we're using, the Soundbite Lite.
Right.
It has nothing to do with it. But Apple does these updates. Now, I got to say something about Windows. When Windows does an update, sometimes they do it without you asking, right? They turn the machine off and turn it back on, but it's maybe 5 minutes, and you got your machine going again. Right. With Apple, it's upwards to an hour, and all it is like it's a security fix. Yeah.
You don't have as many updates with the Apple as you do.
Oh, I know. Way more with the Apple. In the last 2 weeks, I've gotten maybe 3-4 updates. You probably didn't know about it because your machine probably did it on its own since you probably set it to do it automatically.
What happened was yesterday it said there are updates, and I said do it later. Mm-hmm. Then I sat down at the machine tonight, and it said some updates didn't install. You got to do something. So it said reboot. I did. I thought all it would be is a reboot, but it was much more involved.
But anyway, I at least did a temporary workaround. I don't know if this is the actual solution to the problem, but I did a workaround.
I don't think that default is Soundbite Lite's system for output. I use USB codec, COD.
Well, I don't use a USB.
Because I'm using a separate sound card.
No, that has nothing to do with it. This is the output of the of Soundbite into your computer and what it's going to use. And so I had to go to something called something Wave, So, and that worked. That seemed to work where the other wasn't working. The default wasn't working. So, I mean, it could have been this thing was sitting here and it hiccuped and it changed its setting. It could have been something like that.
Occasionally with that Soundbite Lite, and I don't use it that much because you yell at me when I do, but when I do use it, occasionally it's lost its connection with the main computer.
Yeah.
And I operate it from a laptop.
Yeah.
So.
Now, by the way, people, in case you don't know, in case you just joined us, what happened was I had trouble tonight signing on, all kinds of problems. But the main problem was that something that's crucial wasn't working, and I had to make sure that the audio coming in on this channel would work, because that's where we get the voice for the panel. So, but it seems to be okay now. So, at least for the time being. So,
do you have somebody that comes in and cleans?
Yes.
You think that occasionally they're using the duster on something that changes?
But she wasn't in today, and this thing was working this morning afternoon when I was doing Michael Snyder. It was working just fine. So something between now and then. You know something?
Yeah.
I saw something. I had my my audio program open. My what do you call it? Whatever the thing is for Adobe.
Premiere.
Adobe Sound.
Yeah.
And I saw a thing saying, you changed your settings. Did you mean to do that? And I went, no. It just came up. Now, it could be that somehow something switched itself and it changed itself to like the input on the audio. Let me see if that audio program works okay. I'll start it up here, and then I'll just check it to make sure that it works all right. But this is like this is just one of the many problems that I have to deal with each and every day doing a show around here, and I'm sick of it. I'm really sick of it.
Go back to the basics.
And I've got to try and solve the problem as fast as possible, too.
Especially when it happens at showtime.
And so you go around, I checked all the connections to make sure the connections got in and, things like that, and it was okay. But, man, oh, man.
When you have a problem with that rack, just go to the preferences and see if it's on the right one.
Well, I didn't cancel. Let me see here. I didn't have a problem, but let me see if it's going in. So I got this notification from Adobe saying you changed your inputs or something, and I didn't, and I wanted to just see if the Adobe will work now. Will it work? Will it hear me? Yes? Okay, it's working all right. So somewhere something changed. Oh, look who we got here. This is a scoop. Wait a minute. Yeah. I added him to the call. James Lee is here. James, are you there?
Yes. How you doing, Mr. Bennett? How are things in New York City?
I was thinking about him today.
Oh, wait a minute. Let me bring it up. Let me bring it up.
Okay.
You're calling by phone, right, James?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. I just want to let you know we're surviving out here in Hawaii.
Yeah.
Even though we got an overflow of the volcano, we had a 6.9 and around 12:40 this afternoon. It was a big shaker.
I heard, James, the streets were cracking, and some of them had fire on them or under them.
That was on the United States, but the 6.9 shaker knocked everything down off the Safeway and the KTA supermarket stores here.
Yeah, how close is Renee to where that was happening?
Is that the ley
Well,
line?
I don't know.
Hold on
I'm
a
about
second,
45 miles from it. Renee's probably maybe 60 miles. But she's
Oh,
on the
okay.
Kona side.
All right.
She's on the west
Okay.
side.
Okay. Now I feel a little more calm.
But,
about that.
we're all in proximity of Mother Pele. Let's put it that way.
How about sulfur? Is that affecting you?
Yeah. Well, no, it's blowing the other way. But that stuff, if it mixes in our lungs, that's sulfuric acid. So that's nasty stuff.
Yeah.
But there are about maybe 1,000 homes in that area. So those folks are really,
Yeah.
you can't get home insurance and all that stuff. There's a real problem going on. So that's why the governor's declared a state of emergency out here. National Guard's here.
Yeah. Oh, jeez.
Yeah, they're out full force.
Well, I just, I wrote Renee and I said, are you getting any email or anything? And she didn't write back or message me at all. So maybe are services out?
In certain areas, yes. Halco Hawaiian Electric is down. We're okay for now, but we're going to get a lot of aftershocks tonight. At 6-9 is a biggie. So we're going to get a bunch of aftershocks in the evening, rock and rolling.
Yeah.
I was flying into Hilo when it happened, so they had to shut the airport down and check the runway for damage so we could land. It was okay to come in.
I'm sorry, folks, if you didn't see a picture of Phil and James for a second, but I was trying to adjust stuff here.
That's all right. No,
then I got all
I'm on the
screwed
phone.
up. Yeah.
Anyway, I'm going to back off right now since you've got your show you're running out of New York City, and say hello to the gang, okay?
Okay. Thank you, and stay safe, okay?
Okay, good. Yeah, and the roaches and the cookie frogs are going to keep us real happy.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Okay, good. I'm glad we heard from him. Okay.
Yeah, I don't have an email address for Renee, and I was concerned the same as you.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, I went to her Facebook and sent her a message on Facebook, but didn't get any reply. So I figured maybe service was out where she was. That's always a possibility.
Sure. And James did say the electric service was out.
Yeah. Sorry about that, folks. I didn't have the picture of Phil and Mr. Lee up there for a moment. Huh? It's just one of those nights. And now nobody's calling on top of it.
6.9. That's pretty big. What did we have in San Francisco in '89?
That's not an earth. He wasn't. I don't know if he was talking about an earthquake or he was talking about. Oh.
No. They've had hundreds of earthquakes in Kona, and that's one of the reasons. And it's a byproduct of the eruption. Yeah. But yes, they've had. What he said was
6.9. Loma Prieta was 7.1.
Okay, well that's still a lot more powerful than a 6.9, but a 6.9.
However, if you have it in a place where you have like one-story buildings, things like that, or you have a lot of countryside, the damage isn't the same as if you're in a city. You didn't have freeways falling down.
Hot lava and fire underneath.
That's the other factor. That's the other factor.
Yeah, I saw the news reports. It was phenomenal.
Yeah.
What's going on?
So nobody's calling tonight. I guess they all gave up on me, huh?
That's early. What time is it? You got 20 minutes before. No. Oh no, it's past 7:30.
Yeah.
So. Yeah, this is the.
Well, I guess when some people came through and didn't hear anything, they just figured we weren't doing a show tonight. Although I was playing my show from last night, so how did they know it wasn't like tonight?
Oh, yeah, I didn't hear that on the live feed.
Yeah.
And anyway.
Yeah.
What else is going on in the world today? Because I've been cloistered in my store, just working.
Well, among other things, Rudy Giuliani can't get his story straight.
I did hear that a judge in Virginia admonished Mueller for having too wide of a scope on his investigation and over.
I didn't hear that.
Yeah.
No, Manafort is asking for that. I don't think the judge. I don't think the judge made a decision on it.
Yeah, but the judge in Virginia, I believe his name was Evans, admonished Mueller for too wide of an investigation.
Let's see here. Mueller admonished.
By Virginia judge.
That's all I have to know. Mueller admonished. Let's see here. Republican Trump layoff. Mueller. No, there's nothing here. Nope. 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 Nope.
Well, maybe the word admonished might be the wrong way to look at it. But he was this judge. I believe his name was Evans.
Judge in Manafort's case says Mueller's aim is to hurt Trump.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, how do you know that's not? Do you know the politics of the judge?
He was appointed by Reagan.
Okay. Well, that says it right there.
Well, yeah, but
no, that says it right. That says it right there.
Judges aren't supposed to be political.
Oh, bullshit.
Well, they're not supposed to be.
How did they wind up in this court in Virginia?
It seems as though some of the things that that Mueller is going after Manafort are based in Virginia, and some others are based in D.C.
I think they went to a judge they know would be sympathetic towards them. Just because a Reagan-appointed judge admonishes Mueller doesn't mean it isn't politically motivated. Would you agree, Rob?
This is the first time, though.
Would you agree, Rob?
I didn't hear the conversation.
Oh, well, he was talking about this judge today that admonished Mueller for his probe going too far, and that
was Virginia.
Virginia, yeah, it's in Virginia. Yeah.
That's where he's from.
I know.
I'll make sure I don't vote for that motherfucker.
I don't know.
But what Phil was saying is, he says, "Are you saying the judges have political agendas?" And I went, "Yeah, well, yeah. If this guy loves Trump, if this guy's a Trump fan, okay, and he's a diehard Republican, he's going to think that Mueller is out to get Trump."
Well, Mueller is a Republican, and Comey is a Republican, and all these guys that his Justice Department is made up of all Republicans. The whole thing is just a big. It's a disaster for our country, is what it is.
Although this is the first time that Mueller is being told that his investigation is too broad, and that it has nothing, and these bank fraud things and so forth have nothing to do with the Russians.
And what about when Clinton was investigated and all of that, and where it started and where it ended up?
Yeah, it wound up being the Monica Lewinsky thing, where they absolutely blindsided Clinton in that deposition by saying, "And what about Monica Lewinsky?" and that's where he perjured himself.
Can you give me a what about?
No, I'm not saying what. No, it's not. That's not whataboutism. You're the one who's saying that.
I didn't say anything. All I said was that Mueller was admonished by this judge.
Yeah.
For,
And so, and what power does this judge have over Mueller's investigation?
It has to do with Manafort.
Yeah, none really, because it won't stand up. They were saying today there's no way what he is saying will stand up.
Who?
What the judge is saying.
What?
Yeah.
Manafort.
No, what the judge is saying is it's what's sad about it is that it makes it's I can't explain it because I'm half asleep. But it's a sad day for Mueller and this country, quite frankly, because it's a kink in the armor. If you don't see that there's a lot going on here that needs to be investigated, then you're just blind to it.
Yes, but he was appointed for a specific reason. It was to find Russian interference in the election.
All right, so if he sees something else while he's looking,
and also into possible collusion of certain people with the Russian government to bring it about.
But Alex,
even 2005 offenses, 2005 and 2007, supposedly by.
Well, this is one of the reasons why Mueller didn't raid Cohn's office. Why the New York State did it. Because New York State has a case.
Something.
Yeah.
We say that all the time on the subway systems and if he sees something while he's investigating, he's handling it the right way.
He turns it over to the local authorities.
The judge, that's what the judge said. He said it should be handled by a Virginia state court and not Mueller's investigation. That Mueller didn't have.
But there are other things about Manafort and in his dealings with the Russians.
Yes, but these issues that he's trying to prosecute have to do with money laundering and some other stuff from 2005 and 2007.
Well,
And that
all
was
I'm saying is that the Mueller investigation is looking at Manafort because they think Manafort talked to the Russians and set all this shit up with the Russians for
Right.
for
And
Trump.
they want to turn him. They want to make a deal and turn him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I guess you know they're maneuvering to weaken Mueller's actions.
Well,
Even what's the guy's name on Fox has come out against this whole thing now. You're losing the Fox hosts.
yeah, what's his name?
Neil
The guy who does their business news.
Neil Cavuto.
Neil
Yeah,
Cavuto.
Neil Cavuto came out negatively against Trump, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Let me ask you this, Phil. I was thinking about this today. How do you know when somebody is hiding something? How do you know when he's hiding something? What are some of the things you notice? I'll give you one of them right now.
Maybe you know furtive eye movements.
No. Well, this thing, this holding of the arms like this,
Yeah,
that's certainly
that's
that's a tell. You know,
Yeah,
if
that's
there
a
ever was.
guarded move.
Yeah,
Right.
but how about this one? Try this one on for size. If somehow you can't get your story straight, it's not the same story every time.
They'll prosecute you.
Well, no, but what I'm saying is Trump never gets his story straight. It's a different story every day. And, you know, if you're telling the truth, your story never varies because you're telling the truth. You're telling the story as you know it. But
That's
when you're
what
lying, you have to keep in mind what you lied about before. But if you don't, you're going to slip up.
I was listening to Willie Brown this morning on the radio.
Well, that's your problem.
As a show. And now he said that Giuliani getting in front of the Stormy Daniels $130,000 thing on Trump, he says basically Giuliani did the right thing because it's going to come out. So he says just get ahead of it, expose it, and that will lessen its impact. And so he said that Giuliani did the right thing by.
Well, if Giuliani thought he was doing the right thing, why is he backtracking today?
Yeah, he's changed his story today.
Well, I didn't hear the story change, but I did hear Willie Brown, who was an assembly speaker and mayor of San Francisco,
and also Trump can't get things straight about when Giuliani started working for him. He said he just started working for me yesterday, and every press person said it's been on record that he started 2 weeks ago.
Well, I had a tough day today too. I must have had real low biorhythms today and forgetting stuff. I went out. I drove 60 miles round trip this morning, 8:30 this morning, to go do a measure in somebody's house. I had another appointment around the corner from this house. I got in my car. I drove back to the store. Woman calls, said, "Where are you?" I said, "Oh, I got in my car. I drove back, and I forgot to look." And
by the way, is anybody else going to call us tonight?
I had to go back this afternoon.
Is anybody else going to call us tonight? Do I have to shame you into it? I don't know. People have not been calling lately. It just pisses me off.
You might want to try my Trump-free zone.
Well, no, I don't want to. I never have. I've always made it a policy when I do a program that I don't drive the discussion in any particular direction. I let it drive itself. And so by saying it's a Trump-free zone, you're saying this is what you can't talk about.
I don't think it has anything to do with content. Nothing to do with content.
What do you think it has to do with?
Well,
no, wait a minute. I asked Rob.
Oh, I didn't.
I just think it's, it's circumstance. The season's changing. And I know for me, it's been circumstance. The seasons are changing and different things pull you in different directions. And that's what it boils down to.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not content. It's not a matter of what you talk about.
Alex has a loyal cadre of callers.
Right.
And,
apparently not.
And it
not.
becomes a habit for people to call. But I have noticed with people like Scott Boddicker, for instance, as soon as we start arguing about Trump, clears out. He doesn't want to hear it. And then yesterday, after the show, the Skype was still on, and I chatted with Ray and
I don't know how you could have, because I shut it down here.
well, we sat there and had a conversation, and so I chatted with Ray and I chatted with the ham radio guy.
Yeah.
And both of them, I ran by the idea of the Trump-free zone, and both of them said, I think that's a great idea.
Yeah, well, that's great. I don't think it's a great idea.
Well, you never think it's a great idea.
No, I don't think it's a great idea,
zone.
because what you're doing by doing that is you're restricting the conversation. And if somebody wants to talk about Trump, then let him talk about Trump.
Yeah, all right. Well, I just see that the mood of the listeners, maybe, and the mood of the people they're just burned out on it.
There could be some.
Well, I'm
fatigue.
burned out on
Sure.
doing this fucking show, but I come in here and do it every night, so I at least expect people to call.
Maybe you're burned out because of Trump.
That's part of it.
No, I'm not. Trump hasn't burned me out. No, not at all. I mean, I'm tired of it. I'm not watching the news as much as I did, because I'm just sick and tired of the way they present it. All of them.
I called it the low-hanging fruit. That Trump is the low-hanging fruit and an easy topic.
No, Trump is a scumbag. Forget about low-hanging fruit. He's just a scumbag.
All right, so it's a low-hanging scrotum.
I mean, what got to me today, though? Trump was speaking to the NRA.
Yeah.
And he starts going off on the Justice Department, and they're all cheering him. And I'm thinking to myself, let's see, the NRA, don't they believe in law and order? And they're cheering somebody saying how terrible the Justice Department is. They're not supporting their Justice Department.
If you believe the way Trump believes, he thinks that the Justice Department is tainted and they're working against him. And the people at the NRA are going to agree with that.
No, but it's unpatriotic of them to agree with that, because they believe in law and order, and then they don't believe in the very weapons we have to maintain that law and order.
Well, these leaks and things like that they know were coming from the FBI and the Justice Department that were there to hurt Trump.
What leaks?
Well, the leaks that Trump has been talking about.
They didn't leak anything. The Justice Department doesn't have an agenda. However, if you attack them, they're going to feel hurt, and they're not going to be partial to you.
Didn't Comey have an attack?
Not at all.
He came out with a book.
After the fact, Phil.
Yeah, well, but there was also a number of things.
His book was sanctioned by the FBI. He ran everything by them to make sure nothing in there was classified or.
Remember when Trump met with these Russian people in the White House, and then didn't have his people in the Oval Office?
Yep.
That conversation got leaked.
Wow. It would have been Trump's people who did it.
Trump's people.
Right. It was somebody in the White House that leaked.
Well, it was one of Trump's confidants.
Well, he says that it was one of Obama's leftovers.
Oh, jeez. You've got a president who is just the classic incarnation of paranoia.
See, I don't know what the truth is and the truth isn't. All I can do is observe and say, this is what this guy said. That's what that guy said. But I'm not sitting in the room, so I don't know what the truth is.
So you had James Comey, who was appointed by George Bush, right?
Right.
So, and then he stayed through the Obama administration, and the first few months of
Part of the
Trump,
reason.
right?
Part of the reason.
How does that organization go corrupt in just those couple of months?
George Bush didn't vote for Trump. He voted for Hillary.
But that has nothing to do with what we're talking about.
He's
a Republican. He's a staunch Republican, and he said he didn't vote.
Oh, well, he said he wasn't voting for Trump.
He said vote.
Oh, well, I thought he voted for.
Because I want you to know, I did not vote.
Oh, I didn't hear that.
Yeah,
but I knew he didn't support Trump, and he said that I thought he supported Hillary.
He's turning this thing into, he's destroying the country by trying to protect himself, and it's a horrible thing what he's doing.
The deal with Trump was he was being attacked by even the Republicans when he was going either for the nomination or got the nomination.
Rightfully so.
The speech by Romney?
Rightfully so. Rightfully so. And he should be able to take it, but he's never been able to take it. He couldn't take it from Rosie O'Donnell.
Yeah, that's a good example.
Barr.
But here's what I'm saying, Phil. If when you lie, you have to be so consistent in your lying that you don't get caught. And it's very hard to do, because once you start a lie, you have to remember what you lied before and the trail of your lie. Hold on, let me finish.
Ooh, don't get upset.
Well, I mean, I can't talk. You interrupt every time I'm going to talk.
I thought it was a conversation.
No, it's a conversation, but I have to say, you have to remember Skype muffles things and tamps things down and so on. So we have to talk one at a time and finish our thought.
Oh, like single duplex.
Oh, boy. Anyway, when you're lying, you have to be consistent in your lying, because if you have to remember what you lied about before and how that lie lines up with the newest lie. And if you're not doing that, which is very hard to do, so it's very hard. It's harder to lie than to tell the truth. Would you agree with that?
Absolutely.
Because the truth is always going to be consistent. You're always going to say, "This is what happened," blah 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 blah, and you don't get tripped up anywhere. The truth is very easy to tell. It's the lies that are hard to tell and that trip you up. This guy is different every time he tells the story. He's lying through his fucking teeth.
Well, Giuliani is therefore doing the right thing by saying, just get in front of this stuff, admit what you got, get in front of it, and put it to bed.
Yeah, and Giuliani's a great lawyer, isn't he?
Probably.
No, he's not. He's not. He's a terrible lawyer.
Crime syndicates.
No, that's not lawyering. He was a prosecutor.
Prosecuting.
He was a prosecutor. Yeah. He's not a good lawyer.
Well, why would you?
I mean, he's such a bad lawyer. I wouldn't want him doing my rent case here at my apartment.
Yeah.
I mean, he's the worst. He's just the worst of the worst.
I'm embarrassed that he's a Yankee fan.
Well, he is, because he's from. Well, he could be a Mets fan if he wanted.
He's probably a Mets fan.
No, he's a huge Yankee fan. Huge.
Yeah. Not enough to make you stop paying attention to the Yankees, right?
I mean, I can't control who are fans or not. But he's got his box seats. You could see him every time they have they shoot from center field, the center field camera, because his box seat is right next to Jimmy Fallon's behind home plate.
He's behind home plate.
First seat, first row, right behind home plate. You see him anytime they take the shot from center field.
Wow.
And he's there.
Yeah. Don't you get a feeling whenever you see a photograph of him, he's got spinach in his teeth? Don't you have the feeling there's something he hasn't he doesn't brush often?
He's organic.
I mean,
sad. I didn't like him as mayor.
Well, he did a good job for the city, but
bullshit.
He did a shitty job
into
for the city.
Disneyland.
Yeah, he changed. He literally took the soul out of this fucking city, Phil.
Right.
You mean by cleaning it up and taking the urine and the dog shit off the street?
No, he just moved it to a different area.
Yeah.
But he moved Westchester?
You didn't clean it up. You're never going to get rid of the
Hey, that racist bastard never cleaned up Harlem, never helped to rejuvenate Harlem. This town, Harlem went down to its deepest depths during his administration.
Yeah, because he pushed everything. They used it like a broom closet. Just push everything into it and jam the door shut.
Yeah.
Now it's gentrifying, and areas like the South Bronx are gentrifying. Where are they pushing the people now?
Well, they're getting pushed out of town. It's where they're getting pushed out of.
Yeah.
It's hard to believe that it's that long ago that Giuliani's been gone. It's almost, 16 years.
Yeah.
Something
it's
like
crazy.
that. Yeah.
17 years.
Yeah. Oh, well, here comes somebody else. It's Kevin, who last night wasn't here because it was his daughter's birthday, right? Kevin? Can you hear me, Kevin?
Yep.
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yeah. Turn up your mic a little bit more.
Sorry.
No, so it was your daughter's birthday last night, right?
No.
Oh, well then.
No, she was playing her sax in a
Oh,
school concert.
okay. I knew it was some kind of event because you wrote me and said I'd like to be on, but I have a thing to attend tonight with my daughter. You know, I thought it was a birthday. I seemed.
No, it's a school concert.
Oh, okay.
Plays
Cool.
her saxophone.
So how was Dad proud?
Oh yeah.
It was
Oh, yeah.
Kevin Free show, huh?
Yeah. Yeah.
Not you're missing much.
Yeah. So all the parents there with their iPhones taking pictures of their kids doing their thing?
Yeah.
I hate
You know what? I was a little pissed at some of the parents.
Why?
You know, you got the 6th and 7th and 8th graders, and the 6th graders get done, and they all stand up and they start leaving. You know, you're supposed to sit around and watch the other kids, but
Right.
these parents get all pissy and they get up and they drag their kids out and they don't wait for the other kids, and it just pissed me off.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, it's a courtesy to stay through the show.
Exactly, you know, and they're trying to teach the other kids the discipline and watch the other kids and all that stuff. And you know, I was gonna go on a Facebook rant and got all pissed off, and I decided not to.
They hold up a iPad and they try to record the thing, and they got the iPad over their head. And
Yeah.
Rob, you don't have any kids, and neither do I. Do you miss this little thing that they're enjoying?
No, I see my neighbors. You know, we're really close with our neighbors. They all have kids.
Yeah.
And I always think, thank God I didn't.
when my oldest daughter was in 6th grade, she was in a play. And I went to the play. It was something about Lincoln. She was Mary Lincoln. And I brought her a dozen roses and gave it to her after the play. She had such a big smile. That is something that I'll always remember.
Oh, yeah, I did that too. Yeah, it was fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. And later on in life, did she break your heart at all?
Now she doesn't talk to me.
See? Okay. So fuck her. You know, that's why Rob and I didn't have kids, because they have no appreciation.
But then you get grandkids and you get to pay them all back.
Yeah. Yeah, but you know what? When you become a grandparent, suddenly you become the babysitter.
Yeah, I don't mind that, because you spoil the shit out of them and then you give them back to the kids and they call up the next day. What'd you do to them? I spoiled the shit out of them. That's what I did.
It's kind of like we cat sat for this cat that Jack and Natalia have. And Natalia says, you know, I sent you a cat and I got back a diva.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
My oldest lives in L.A. and my youngest lives in Toronto. So if they end up with kids, I don't think I'm going to be babysitting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, they live about 200 miles away, so I don't get it all the time, you know. So
How old
it's
are they?
special when they, huh?
I was asking Phil how old his kids were.
24 and 26.
Oh, and then are they married?
They're both living with guys.
Oh.
Yeah. You know, it's all right.
Yeah. But they don't talk to you?
The one in Toronto, I don't even know her phone number. And the one in L.A. will text me back, okay, you know, how you doing? You know, happy birthday. Okay. You know, one word.
Boy, I'm glad that I don't have all this non-appreciation.
Yeah. My dog, though, I came home from work today. I laid down in the bed for a few minutes. She jumped up. She kissed me and licked my face. She couldn't wait to see me.
Well, isn't
So,
that, yeah,
with all of your health problems and all that with the prostate cancer, they didn't reach out?
Nothing.
Wow.
really?
Yeah.
Were you a terrible father or something? I mean, is there any reason why they should hate you?
No, I didn't bond that well. I used to go to work at 5 in the morning, and
Yeah.
I'd come home at 8 at night. They'd be asleep at 5. They'd be asleep at 8. And, you know, I'd kiss them on the forehead when I'd leave in the morning, but they were asleep.
Yeah.
And, you know, I never did this stuff. I never changed a diaper.
Well, they wouldn't remember that. It can't be the diaper changing.
Well, and, you know, I used to be open 7 days a week until I realized my kids were like 8 and 10. And I said, I don't remember. And then, you know, when you get divorced, they're living at home, and they didn't want to spend any time with me. They said, we have our rooms at home. We don't need to. I bought a 4,000 square foot house with 4 bedrooms so that they could have their own bedrooms in the house.
Wow.
One of them stayed with me one night because she had a fight with her mother. Other than that, nothing.
Really? Son of a
Yeah,
bitch.
it's tough.
Well, we've been joined by Tony and by Ray Renati as well.
Hello.
So maybe we have what amounts to a citizens panel here now, officially. We had a little trouble tonight, folks, if you didn't know. Starting off the show, we actually got on about 20, 25 minutes late when I finally fixed the technical problems that I was having. It's always this whole process is pure and utter magic, folks.
Yeah, I checked in once and there was nothing going on. I went, oh shit, what happened?
Yeah. How you doing, Ray?
I'm doing great. I took a hang gliding lesson today.
Really?
Jeez.
Yeah.
Wait, how old are you, Ray?
56.
56. Okay. Well, you still got some get up and go then.
Yeah, I figure I might as well do it now.
You know, I had a fan, and the fan is making on high speed is making a tick 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 noise. Not terrible, not grinding or anything like that. Just tick tick tick. And I wanted to get up on the bed to like try and fix it, to reach it and fix it and see if I could figure out why it was making that noise. And I couldn't get up on the bed. And a lot of it is my fear of like the torn meniscus that I have, having a problem. But, you know, it was just a matter of getting up on the bed and going, can I get up on the bed? You know, in the old days, I just hop up on the bed, stand up.
Was it like a balance thing? A balance problem?
No.
At all our ages, we shouldn't be on ladders. We shouldn't be standing on stools. None of that stuff, because we don't have the balance that we used to have.
Or especially don't stand on somebody else's stool. Yes. Tony had his hand up. He wanted to say something. Your microphone isn't on, Tony.
Can't hear you. Nope.
Could be a good thing.
It could be a good thing. Yeah.
No mic.
Is your microphone on? Oh, no, don't try and
muted.
say something. We can't hear you. You're muted. See, technical difficulties all over the place, right?
I thought he was Italian.
Tony, listen to me.
With his hands, we don't need the.
Listen to me. There's a thing that has a microphone on it. When you go down and you look at those things, and there's a camera and there's a microphone. Do you see that? Right? Is the microphone on, or is there a slash through it?
No slash. So that's your device is not selected in
Then
tools
go up.
options.
Okay, here we go, folks. Time out now for some technical problems to be solved once again.
Just one caveat here. He's going to go through all of this to get his microphone to work, and he's not going to say anything.
That's right. So wait a minute. Go up to what are you using? Just nod to me. Are you using a PC? Are you using a PC? Are you using a Mac? Yes. Okay. Well, on the Mac, let's see here. Who has a Mac there?
Go up to Skype.
Okay. Go up to Skype.
Use the drop down.
Use the drop down. Okay.
Then I'll walk you through it here.
Yeah.
Let me get there here. Hey, God dang it.
The rest of you follow
Then
along.
go to audio and video settings.
Okay.
He's
and
there.
then you should see microphone.
And it might be the
And
mute.
it should be either a built-in input, or if you have a webcam, you'll want to put it onto your webcam.
No. What do you have some
I don't think he has.
When you're talking right now, say something, Tony. And is the bar moving back and forth up there when you talk? Oh, okay. Then you're not having an input to it.
Try test audio.
You said
You have a test audio button there.
Go to the Skype
This is
call.
great broadcasting.
Contacts. Okay. And press the Skype call and see if you can record on it.
No, don't go through all of that. You know.
Well, that's how he'll know whether he has an output.
That's what I do. I use the Skype call test with the British lady.
Yeah.
So weird.
Well,
Since I reinstalled Skype, people freeze on me now. Like Phil's totally frozen.
Tony, it doesn't do you much good to talk to us since we can't hear you.
I think you should let him talk. Just let him keep doing it.
Now he's doing sign language.
Well, in there, you probably don't, if you're not seeing the bar go back and forth when you talk, then it probably means that you're not, your input isn't the correct input.
Right.
Yeah. So that's it, plain and simple. Let's forget about that. What? The numbers just went up, by the way. The viewership just went up when we went into this whole technical difficulty, solve the problem.
I wonder how they're going to solve it.
How are they going to fix it?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I should have stayed on while I was trying to fix my problems, because that would have gotten me just 80
How many
million.
computers does he have there?
I don't know.
Look at
He's
that.
got some
He's got
PJs
3.
on.
He's gonna go over to another computer and sign on.
He's got another one on the left.
Yeah, he's got that.
Yeah.
He's got the computer room.
1, there's 2, and he's 3.
And he doesn't have any friends. How does that?
There's one for the dog.
Okay, Tony, you're trying to call. He's probably trying to call us from his other computer, right, Tony? Yeah. Why don't I hang up on you and call us from that one? Okay. All right. Okay. He's like he's swimming.
Keyboard. It's like from the 1980s.
It's like his chair ballet.
Damn.
Yeah.
This is exciting radio, television.
I get a bill today from Comcast. They raised me from $59 a month to $80 a month.
Mm-hmm.
And so I called them up and I said, look, you got to put me into retention.
Up to how much?
80. Now I only have internet with them.
Yeah. So
No
they
TV.
and now they're charging you what?
80 instead of 60.
Instead of 60, they went up $20.
Right. They said that the promotion was over. So I said, well, give me another promotion. So they said, we don't have any other promotions. I said, then good. Take me off auto bill. And I just signed up with Wave. They're going to call me in the next 2 days. I'm getting a 1 gig down and 10 meg up.
Yeah.
Which is the same up speed that I've got with the other one for $70. So,
wow.
So
Perfect.
maybe what's happening with Ray's computer is that his download is slow.
Oh, I bet they're throttling me now. Yeah.
Now, there's one way you can check. You can go to your speed test.
What makes you think that Ray is being throttled? I'm getting a beautiful picture on Ray.
How would you?
No latency or anything.
I know, but he is down speed. What he's getting into him.
Well, everyone's moving perfectly except Phil. Phil's frozen on my screen.
Well, sometimes that happens. In one place somebody is on the screen and another place he's not. Yeah. So
move and see if that makes it.
But otherwise, you're coming in here loud and clear. So.
Yeah, my mic sounds okay and everything.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
The only thing is, I would turn off your automatic focus, but that's the only problem.
Oh, is it going in and out?
It throbs a little bit.
Oh, okay.
In fact, I would suggest that to everybody who's listening. If you can get to wherever in your system, you take care of the camera. Turn off the autofocus, because once you've got it focused, you've got it focused. It doesn't need to be automatically focused.
There, I just turned it off.
Here comes Tony. Let's see if we can hear him from his other computer. Hello, Tony. No, we can't hear you.
It's his room.
Huh?
It's the room. It's not the computer.
It's haunted.
Autofocus off.
I did the same thing. Did it make any difference?
Yeah.
You're still frozen on my screen.
Yeah. I was having some freeze up problems too, but maybe it's an update.
There goes Tony again.
Yeah.
It could be my video drive. It could be so many different things.
Yeah. Yeah. But anyway, enough of the technical problems. Because I had them at the beginning of the show tonight, and I still don't understand what happened. But I think that somewhere along the line, my computer decided to have a mind of its own and change settings. Because I got a warning that some setting had been changed or something, but that's not on this machine. I don't know. I don't get it.
That happened to me, Alex, and I had to reinstall Windows, and I could not fix it.
You couldn't fix it?
I tried everything.
Hey,
And I kept getting this message that Windows could not update to the latest, and I was getting behind and behind and behind. So I just reinstalled Windows.
it's tough to go from DOS to Windows. But
Yeah.
hey, Alex,
I still go to a DOS prompt a lot.
Alex said that we couldn't have had a conversation last night on Skype because he turned the Skype off. But you and I and
I do two things here. I end my feed, I turn myself to offline, and you could still keep talking to each other. And then I hit end here to end the conversation, and you say you just kept talking, huh?
I've done that a bunch of times.
yeah, probably about 5 minutes.
Even though Jack needs to jump on Skype,
He has his own Skype.
he uses the Gabnet Skype.
Oh, well,
I've done it a bunch of times. John and I have talked for quite a while after and never hung up, even if you've closed it, Alex.
Yeah.
And then the show after us still goes on somehow.
yeah.
That's very strange.
Hey.
It's very strange. Gee, I probably the best way for me to do a show would be offline. Did you have a good discussion?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, usual stuff.
Prostates.
Yeah.
Well, there we can talk about
Colonoscopies.
prostates and not bore the audience, you know.
Yeah. So, what ham radio operator, what's his name? Van or
Vernon.
Vern. Vern. He had a prostate cancer issue and had radiation. So we were chatting about that. And
Oh, gee, it's wonderful when the one thing that binds you together with another human being is your fucking prostate.
I had a prostate infection. I was in the hospital for a week with it.
Ooh,
Really?
that can't be fun.
No, it was not. I almost died.
Wow, really?
Yeah, like 20 years ago.
Jeez.
I was having convulsion. My fever was so high, I was having convulsions.
What was it? Just a prostate infection?
Yeah.
How do you get that?
I think it was from windsurfing in the bay over by the airport. Something just got up
What
there.
happened? Did the mast from the sails go up your ass? I mean, what?
No.
What happened?
I think there's some kind of like bacteria from the ocean went up my dick.
Oh,
Really?
Yeah.
actually, you pee, it goes out, not in.
Yeah, but I couldn't pee because I was taking this medicine the doctor had given me for something, and it was causing me a urinary retention. That was the problem. And so whatever got stuck in there couldn't come out, and then I got this infection.
Wow.
It was horrible.
I
Wow.
heard it's a thing.
I know, man.
They'll do that
Like,
to you.
yeah, I mean, you know.
Yeah, they had put
How fragile we
Cipro.
are.
Okay, here comes
Cipro
Tony.
for-
He's calling from another machine because he has another picture with those fucking Muppets.
I'm only getting the
Okay,
initials.
Tony, turn your camera on now. Can you hear
Hey.
us?
Yes,
See, we can hear you, Tony.
thank you. Yeah, I went to the Windows machine. Thank God. I brought my laptop up from downstairs.
Oh,
But
okay.
you see,
Oh, so he's got 4 machines.
Yeah, put your face a little more in the center, though. Move the
raise
lid
your
down.
camera.
Yeah, frame yourself a little better. Not
No, the other way.
this
yeah.
way.
Now that we can see your face, put yourself.
There you go.
Now we can see your face. Put yourself out of frame.
Yeah. I don't blame you.
That's what I would do.
I was reading like a vampire.
No, you're amazing though, Tony. You're trying to talk to us, and you know we can't hear you.
I know. I don't know why I do that. I'm stubborn. That's what it is. It's the
Tony,
kitty coming at me.
Tony, you're muted. You're muted.
No,
Like that.
no. If you yell, you probably figure if you yell loud enough, it'll get through the internet.
Yeah, it did. Like sometimes it's the stupidness coming through. Like I still think you can hear me. Like maybe you can read my lips. That's how.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to hang up and call back because I figured out what the problem was. It was my driver, and now nothing's showing. So
So you got to
Okay.
go. Okay.
yeah, I'll be right back.
Okay, he'll be right.
We
back.
have your camera. We can see.
Boy,
you.
this is a night
Yeah,
full
but I
of
can't
nothing.
see anybody.
This is a night of a. We should call this a night of 1,000 problems.
I'm like you, Alex. I love the computers. I love like saving all my computer stuff. I go crazy over it. Like
What?
the computers, I like stuff. The computers. I love having like millions of different toys.
You like? I don't get what you're
Like
saying.
I can have it. Meaning, like I like to have like you know how like you like to have the TVs. I wish I had a computer like in every room. Like that's just like my dream.
You could just have a laptop and then the computer's in every room with you.
I've almost well, I mean, get yourself an iPad and you can take it to every room you go into.
Yeah, I like the laptop still, though. I don't know why.
Well, I have 2 whole studios here now. I have another one set up in another room, too. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 screens in here with 1, 2, 3 computers. Wait a minute, is that it? Yeah, 3 computers. 4 computers, excuse me. No,
Wasn't there
computers.
a census that they did based on how many TVs you had in your household? Might have been 20 years ago.
Yeah, I think it was something like 2.5 per household or something.
Yeah. So you would have thrown it off.
Oh, I would have thrown it off. No, so far as TV sets, I've got 6 TV sets in this apartment.
Just to be in the kitchen.
You know, and when I finally got a 4K for the guest room, because I watch a lot of television in there, I had to figure out somebody to give the old one to. You know, I moved the old one in here, and then I gave them the set that was in here. So
they're hard to get rid of, but I think Rob trumps us all with 120 inches. Yeah.
Wow, you got a big set.
Yeah, but you've got to qualify that it's a projector.
Projector.
And so
that's hard to look at, right?
No. It could be
a movie.
It could be 120 inches, or you could focus it down to 5 inches if you had to, or something like that.
I don't know how small you can make it, but I could go up to about 145 inches.
Yeah.
Just I don't have the wall for it.
Well, you're gonna have to move into another house then.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, how's the new house coming, Rob?
It's great. I just mowed the lawn. First time this season.
Really?
That's nice.
Did you feel like the suburbanite there, mowing the lawn?
My lawn looks great. It's all green. I had it all fertilized, and it's all nice. Now I got to start watering it.
Oh, okay.
Do you have sprinklers?
I do.
Yeah.
I do.
Wow.
I don't like doing the lawn. I'll tell you that. I'm sure by July I'm gonna be sorry.
Get yourself a gardener, right?
Yeah, I had it last year. In fact, this year the guy came back 3 times and mowed the lawn. I didn't realize it.
Okay, well, I'll tell you what I get. You know what girlfriend's paying for tomorrow? We had this guy come in once before. We have a guy come in who cleans our windows.
Oh, yeah, cool.
Oh, wow.
Oh.
He gets out on the outside.
Yep.
My mother used to hang out the windows on the second floor. I swear to God.
What? Used to what? Wait a minute. Used to hang you out?
My grandmother's grave. She used to go out in the old windowsills on the second floor, close it down, and we used to have to hold it, and she used to wash the window like a psycho. I thought my father wanted to push her out.
Oh no! This guy comes in.
This when she was young, Alex.
I can't watch this because I get, you know how sometimes you get this feeling in your stomach of, you know, when something like that's happening.
Does he strap himself in?
He straps himself out on the outside of the windows in this building. There are hooks.
Yeah.
Okay. So he puts a hook on either side, and then he goes on the outside, and he hangs by those hooks, or uses that to keep him on the ledge so he doesn't fall off. He cleans the window. Now he's got to get to the next window. Do you think he comes in again and goes in the next window? No,
he goes over.
He goes over to the next window.
He's got balls of steel.
And now, may I add to this, for all the people that are listening, we are 8 stories high.
Yeah, you got a big apartment.
What are you paying this guy?
Huh?
Holy shit.
What are you paying this guy?
We're paying him $40 a window. Comes about $200.
Nice.
So did you guys did they show the guys inspecting the Golden Gate Bridge this week out there?
Oh, yeah, they were jumping. They were
climbing up to they were taking the elevator up the middle of the bridge and then roping down the sides of checking all the rivets and stuff.
Rappelling.
Yeah, rappelling down the side of the towers. It was pretty crazy.
Those guys,
I had a friend in college who used to do that in the middle of the night.
Well, my brother's gone up the center and then stood up there on the top tower.
Yeah, I should have got out there with my camera.
Took some pictures up there.
My newswoman in San Francisco, Lori Thompson.
If they catch you, you're in jail.
No, my friend.
They took him up there.
Hi, how are you, Jeff? We had.
Yeah, right.
Wait a minute. What is all that? Can you hear us, Jeff?
Yeah, we're on.
Oh, okay. No, what I was going to say is that my newswoman, Lori Thompson, got invited by somebody to go to the top of the tower. And there is an elevator in there, and you go up, and she was on the very top of that tower. I don't think I could do that. She wanted me to come along, and I just couldn't do it. I was just.
Did you ever go up the Eiffel Tower?
What?
Did you ever go up the Eiffel Tower?
Yeah.
Yes, did.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I ran my youngest daughter. We were there. She was about 6 or 8, and she was short and close to the steps. She ran up 10 flights of steps. I'm running behind her. We get to the observation area, and all I could do was pant.
Well, at one time that I was there at the Eiffel Tower, I walked up to the first level.
Yeah, that's
and I was a young kid at the time, and I was exhausted. All right. But the rest of the time, I take those inclinators. They go sideways up the.
We had lunch at the Eiffel Tower at the restaurant there, and then they give you the option of walking down instead of taking the elevator down.
Mm-hmm.
So I walked down.
There was a 45-minute wait for the stairs and a 2-hour wait for the elevator. So we took
Yeah, the wait at the Eiffel Tower is very long. In fact, I was just looking at a video that we did in Paris, and we have the very scene where we were deciding whether we were going to wait in line or come back the next morning. And we said, let's come back tomorrow morning. But then there was no tomorrow morning to come back to because we just left town.
Yeah.
Boy, hi, Jeff.
Hi. Well, this is my friend Terry.
Hi, guys.
Hi, Terry.
Hey.
She's with me tonight.
Yeah.
We're in California. We're in California together.
Yeah.
And Jeff has brought me with his wife, and we've had a really good time. Jeff is really good at entertaining two women. He's like a stallion, I'll tell you. He's extraordinary.
Are we supposed to know that?
That's good. I'm an older person, but having a good. I mean, it's not like I'm a kid, but I'm having a good time. You know what I mean?
Well,
wow.
he's got a lot of stamina because he's got a lot of metal in himself to make the movie.
Hey, Jeff, are you in Santa Barbara?
We're in Santa Barbara.
Now, there's a bunch of fires in Santa Barbara. Are you seeing any of the telltale signs from the last fires?
Oh, yeah. Actually, we went up towards Montecito. We saw where the fires were, the Thomas Fire, and then we saw where the mudslides were. And I used to live in Santa Barbara for about 10 years when I was younger and taller and thinner, and my stomach was flat. Those were good times. But anyway, so I'm back here visiting, and going there was devastating. It's really hard to see a town that you love so much to be devastated the way that it was.
Yeah.
So I did get a chance to go and survey. We were looking for Oprah's house. Oh. And I wanted to talk to her, and we were not, the cops didn't come after us, and we were driving around the neighborhood.
Yeah.
Looking, drinking and driving. It was great.
Right.
No.
Who's running a sink there? Somebody running a sink?
Yeah, the maid.
Pam, my wife, is in the washer machine today.
Oh, okay.
We just kind of finished.
Ray, did you figure out what your problem was? Ray?
Phil's still frozen, so I don't know.
Yeah, you know what happens? I think there's something in the way that they have created Skype where I can get a perfect picture of everybody, but maybe you won't be able to see Phil, or Phil will be frozen, or he'll be spinning, but everybody else sees him.
Oh, okay.
It's gotten better over the years, but it's still I think it has something to do with where you are and we're in proximity to where he is, to where Jeff is. I look fine, right?
Yeah, you're always perfect.
Yeah.
Once in a while you freeze for a split second, but never more than that.
Yeah, but I also have.
But Phil's close to me in proximity.
I have incredible bandwidth here.
Okay.
You sign off tonight. Do a speed test.
Okay.
And you'll see if they've throttled you back.
Those speed tests are silly.
They are, because it depends on where you do in the speed test from and to.
Well, you do it to the closest one to your.
No, here's what happens. I know.
Yeah, but they direct it.
I know what I have up and down. Okay, or what I'm supposed to be getting up and down, and it really shouldn't vary. It does vary in other rooms because I have cable that I run in there, and it turned out the cable I originally put in there was for lower speeds, but here in this room, I can test right next. I've got the fibers right here, okay? And if I go to the FiOS bandwidth test site, I get full throttle. All my numbers are just high, high, high. Now, if I go over to AT&T or I go over to Spectrum, all of a sudden I'm getting speeds of like 100. You know, it's like they're trying to make me feel bad about what I have, so I'll buy them.
You think it's that Machiavellian?
Yes, I do. I absolutely do. Because, and some of them, you get one speed, you go to another, you get another speed. You can't tell which one has the best speed.
Well, and that is by design, not by design, but that's just what the internet is, right? Yeah. Every time you connect to a different site, you're connecting through there's no direct path.
Right.
So you hit a bad hop somewhere, you're going to get shitty results. It's the way the internet is.
Yeah. I think you should also probably take it off of the your router and plug it directly into the back of your computer.
Well, you don't have to do that. A router is fine. The router has the same speed coming out of each port. If you have
what if there's somebody in the house downloading a movie or playing a game on the TV?
It depends on the problem with the router.
It depends on your bandwidth. I can do a show here while girlfriend's watching Netflix, and you wouldn't even know it.
Do you have fiber optic connection, Alex?
Yep.
Oh, that's why.
Now, Ray, are you connecting wirelessly to your router, or
no? I'm right into the. I'm a hardwired.
Yeah. AT&T. Let's see here. Forbin Colossus says that an AT&T. I got to put my glasses on because I can't read this. An AT&T technician told me he uses Speakeasy Speed Test, which is more accurate than ATT. Okay. So
when I've had tech guys come in, they always use Speakeasy.
Really?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I don't know if I have Speakeasy here.
I had a problem with FiOS.
You just go to their website.
Yeah, I had a problem with FiOS at one point. I couldn't stream a baseball game. It was constantly locking up, and I called them, and they came down and they did a speed test to Verizon's test, and it was, look at this gorgeous connection. I said, yeah, try any of the other ones. Try Speakeasy, try any of the other ones, and they all sucked. But this is the one we go by. I said, yeah, no shit. But this is a
But it was the FiOS Verizon site, right?
Yeah, that was the only one that was giving them a good.
Well, they want to make you feel good.
Well, no, they just wanted to, pawn it off as no problem. Look, I'm like, no, it's not how it works. Especially because it's a direct connection right to FiOS from a FiOS connection.
Long and short of it is that I have, over the years, kept trying these various bandwidth tests, and every one gives me a different result. None of them give me the same result, and I use the ones right in New York City.
Right. Well, that's just that's what the internet is. It's not an exact thing. It's good.
Isn't that the definition of insanity?
Hold on a second. My underpants are riding up on me. Thank you.
Doing the same thing over and over and expecting a different result?
No, you do the same thing over and over again. You get a different result every time.
Hey, you've been playing with your earbuds. Have you used that stuff I sent you?
I haven't had a need for it lately because I didn't have any kind of ear infection from it.
No. Just use it just as a regular part of your hygiene. That's all.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. I'll send you something you shove up your ass. That'd be good too.
No, just stick it in your ear.
Yeah, stick it in your ear.
Phil's had way too much shoved up his ass lately, I think.
Well, I think he's had.
They cut it to my stomach.
Oh.
Yeah, they didn't actually go up your ass, did they?
No.
Oh.
And I don't think they'll be even sticking the finger up there anymore. There's nothing to feel.
Yep, right.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah.
That's true. And how is your continence?
See, folks, we just like
this is why we're a very popular program. How's your continence these days?
Did we get more listeners on that?
Actually, when we started talking about technical stuff, we got the numbers went up. Yeah.
That always gets the geeks on.
And if I have problems here, like something's broken and I'm trying to fix it and I can't figure out what's wrong, numbers go crazy. Here comes Renee Collins.
Oh, how's she doing?
Yeah, I know.
I call in. I wanted to find out if she was under lava.
Yeah, we were. Renee, you there?
Yeah, I'm here. Hang on, I'm trying to get my act together. Sorry about this.
Yeah.
Okay, Kevin made me change my outfit.
Yeah. Now I'll tell you, I got to say something here before we go.
Oh, the short.
There you go. Now you're talking.
Before we go
Friday night.
Before we go any further with this, Renee, I certainly would like to have you. Hold on a second. I'm trying to get something to work here. Oh, I see what the problem is. I was, I wrote you a note or something to see if you were okay. And every time, there's let's say here in New York City, there's a fire all the way downtown. People will call me and say, "Are you okay?" And so I didn't want to be that kind of guy. But I know that you live on the Big Island, and I know you were talking about the volcano, getting a little rugged out there. Well, what happened with you? Were you okay?
And ask about the earthquakes.
So, yeah, we'll talk about the earthquakes in a few minutes.
Yeah.
Pele, Madam Pele has decided to add new earth.
Yeah.
So she's actually opened up. Pardon, Phil?
Pele, I don't think was a woman.
No, in this community.
No. Oh, okay.
Okay. Get your deities.
That was a
straight.
soccer player. Okay.
Pele's a broad. Okay.
Pele.
Yeah.
So we have full-fledged volcano. Well, not a full-fledged volcano, but we have a volcano. It is in eruption, and the poor people of one of the most southern communities down there is now having lava flow through their community. They've been evacuated. Pardon?
Leilani, a laurel or something?
Leilani. And they're evacuating the one next door to it because of the sulfur dioxide. Now, the thing about the sulfur is about less than 60 days ago, there was a photographer doing a photography tour on some of the lava fields that had been known to be safe. And he was about 200 pounds and about 6'2", and one of the fissures opened up and the gas came out and he was dead, just dropped him. So it took less than 15 minutes. So they are now going to be evacuating some of the other communities just because that stuff is coming their way. And unfortunately, for the next 24 hours, the wind is blowing it all the way up the coast.
My question to you is, Renee, though, why is it that we as people always, in spite of the climatological danger, always move into places? I mean, for instance, why do we live on a fault line? When we lived in San Francisco, and why do people in Hawaii live near a volcano? It hasn't erupted in 200 years. Yeah, but it goes about every 201. Okay.
Well, the problem is that every time somebody builds a community, the damn volcano comes up and says, "Yeah, no, not now. This one's mine." And then they'll build another community over here, and the volcano will come up and say, "Yep, no, I want that one now." And so it's more Mother Nature being Mother Nature. They'll build it on one area, and then the lava will open up there, and it's just.
Well, I understand that the streets are cracking and that there's lava.
Sure.
Yeah. Well, that's what happens with volcanoes, Phil.
Yeah. So the problem with this is going to be as the more and more fissures open up, we actually get to see. So right now we can only see one through fire, this kind of stuff. But as the fissures open up, the big picture of how big the flow is going to show up. And I'm not sure that they don't already have that information at the USGS. So
now, how long does this kind of eruption keep going? Can it go on for years, or does it just happen and then it settles down and
it's been going?
Everybody builds a new community, and then Mother Nature comes along.
Knocks it out again. And it goes on for it can go on for years at any lava level. So it's not always a full-blown eruption, but it could still be spewing lava.
Yes.
I just have a question, Renee. I was there 2 summers ago, and there was quite a bit of eruption, and I got some great night photos of the crater erupting. I just put it on a tripod with the long exposure, the awesome pictures, and then it was also coming down the side of the mountain. But it seems like it just people hadn't built, living spaces there, and so it wasn't that big a deal because there was a lot of lava.
Isn't this
area? And then in 1983, it wasn't erupting at all. And I remember walking through the main crater, like just walking around in there. There was no lava anywhere. There was no signs of eruption anywhere. It was.
I think it's flowing in a different area than it had flowed before.
Oh, okay.
Well, to begin with, we had what's his name call us, our other friend in Hawaii.
James.
Yeah, so I wanted to put out. We've got an issue. We need to put a shout out to James from Hilo. It's not that we are worried about you. He is a whole lot closer than I am.
Well, he's a whole lot closer, but he said he's not close enough. And I said, where are you in proximity to? And he said, oh, that's 60 miles away. I mean, we forget. This is called the Big Island for a reason. It's a big island.
But sulfur, so what's happening now is depending on where the winds are going, we talked about the photographer that just died a little while ago, and he was a big hefty guy. He was muscular and it dropped him. So as those plumes keep coming out, as long as those things aren't shifting towards Hilo, so what they'll do is they'll tell you if it starts to come in your area, they'll tell you to lock yourself in the house, turn the air conditioner on. If you have COPD, make sure you've got your inhaler near you and all this wonderful stuff. So if James needs a place to come and stay, whether he really wants to leave Hilo or not, my place is open for you, buddy.
Okay.
And I do have a dog. He's not really good with little dogs, but I think we could probably make that work.
Yes. Hey, Renee, where are you?
Carbon dioxide's a nasty gas. Really nasty gas.
Oh man, this guy was like, you should have seen. He was pretty hefty. I mean, he was not fat. He was stuffed.
It burns your throat.
Dropped.
Wow. It's a 0.2 corrosive. It burns your lungs.
Yeah.
And 1 ppm will kill you.
Really?
One?
Yeah.
Oh.
And so it's a heavier than air gas. It'll drop to the ground rather than go up.
How do you know? Wait a minute. Hold on a second. How do you know this fact?
Well, I used to play with that stuff.
Oh.
I used to store gases. And that was one of them.
Oh.
So can you explain to me that whole theory that whole thing that you just discussed? I have a real problem with diesel smells and gasoline smells because it is a very humid area. They really hover at the ground, and this seems to be very true for a lot of gases. And I don't understand if it's because I'm so close to the equator. Is it because of the temperature? How is it that I get off?
Yeah, that's just a vapor that's not the gas itself. That's the vapor off the gas.
Now, am I right to believe that this
liquid, and then you got the vapor?
Am I right to believe that this town that it was that it happened
Leilani Estates
it's like a retirement community?
No, it's a subdivision.
Oh, okay.
Just a regular I mean, their houses aren't these really. It's not 2-story houses, but it's a regular, nice subdivision. Decent subdivision.
What was their motto? Our homes will blow you away.
What about the 6.9 quake?
Oh, baby.
Yeah, that was like at 4 o'clock our time.
So where this quake, and this is the other reason I want to make sure Jim's okay, is because
he sounded like he was okay.
2 hours north of the epicenter of this quake. 2-hour drive time. Mm. So as the crow flies, it's probably like 40 minutes or something like that.
Yeah.
Sitting on the couch, I'm going, it started to shake. I'm like, okay, that's a shake of a 4.5. And then it got bigger, and then it came back down. But then its problem with the quakes seem to be here is they elongate, meaning that with the quakes you feel in California, sometimes they're just like these brief puppies.
Sometimes
there are two.
In California, there are two kinds that you get. One is like the crack, you get like boom, almost like that. The other is a steady build. Okay,
that's what 89 was.
And that was 89. And what's scary about that is that you don't know how big it's going to build to.
Just
You know.
kept going and going and going.
Yeah.
Well, and houses in Hawaii, are they built for quakes like San Francisco, or do you have issues with construction?
Well, now see, there's you can over-engineer anything. And I've had this conversation with Native people here, and some of these houses, not these houses, because in Leilani Estates, these are semi-decent houses, and these are built, semi-recently, so like with probably late 90s or something like that.
Yeah.
Anyway, but the older homes were built on a rock. So each foundation, each beam had a rock that it sat on all the way around. And all they did, if those things, budged a little bit, is the rock would absorb, the tilting of the rock would absorb the shock, and it wouldn't go up into the structure itself. So when I watch all of these things that we used to watch in California about all of these quakes, I'm like, damn.
Well, the thing was that right after the Loma Prieta, there were a lot of the other little quakes. And every time one of them would start, we used to say, go run under a door.
Those were the aftershocks.
Some of those weren't little. Some
but some of them started building up.
There was one that was 5.8.
And once they started, the second one right after the original quake was the 5.8.
Yeah.
It happened about a couple hours later. But we had them for weeks. Do you know that you didn't feel some of them, but there was something like over 1,000 or so aftershocks for weeks. And
so this is something all Californians learn, and everybody on the continent needs to know. The original aftershocks of an earthquake can be at a higher magnitude than the quake itself.
Well, also there's one other factor we haven't mentioned here. It's not only the force of the earthquake, but how long it lasts.
Yes.
In other words, if you take a piece of metal and you start bending it and bending it and bending it, eventually the metal's going to break, right? So the longer you do that, so what happens is the longer the quake is, the more damage is done. If it's just a quick jolt, you have less damage.
Alex, don't forget what happened in the marina, which was called liquefaction, where the water percolates up.
Well, because in the marina, that was built. It was built. It was built on landfill. They put landfill, and oddly enough,
sometimes the epicenter is not the worst place.
The epicenter may be the best place to be because that's where the least shock happens. It radiates out.
It's the waves around the outside. It's like dropping a drop of water in the middle.
But wait a minute.
I remember seeing the epicenter was near somebody's cabin. And the cabin was fine, but the crack in the ground was like huge,
Oddly enough,
but the cabin was right there.
Oddly enough, the landfill from the for the marina was from the rubble from the 1906 earthquake. They took all the rubble out there and they built a whole area in which they built the 1916 Pan American Exposition. And when it left, they built houses there. Yes, Phil.
I went down to Hollister, where Kevin lives, with a group of geologists, and we were looking at the fault that runs through Hollister and looking at the sidewalks and the streets. Kevin, you live in a very active earthquake area.
Yeah, we got a little section in the paper that has earthquake activity.
Yeah.
Monterey Street, because they don't even fix it anymore.
If you go out to Marin, and I'm trying to remember the name of the town now. It's nice. It's out around where Stinson Beach is. It's this small little town, and that was the epicenter of the 1906 earthquake. And you can actually go out there and you can see the San Andreas Fault, and it's a hump. It's a hump in the ground.
Is it Tamales Bay?
Well, it's near Tamales Bay, but I'm trying to remember. No, it wasn't Nicasio. It's past Nicasio. It's a little. It starts with a P, if I remember correctly. The town.
If I took my webcam, I could stick it out my window and show you the fault.
Yeah, exactly. Yes, Renee.
Okay, so just so everybody's clear, that was one of about 30 quakes in the past 30 hours or so.
Yeah.
So these
I can read
people
them to you if you want. I got my earthquake app right.
Yeah, and so these people are getting pounded. So I felt 2 quakes today. That was one, and then about an hour later, I felt another one that was just as bad, which leads me to believe that that second quake was closer to me.
Do you what? That's hard for.
Yep, that's us. So
all Hawaii.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So they're getting.
That's just one page.
Yeah. So it's and what happens is there's a couple things that happen that people don't understand is you get into shock mode. All right. If you're in a quake, you kind of you're a little unsteady, and then the next quake makes you just as unsteady. So that PTSD about that first one reoccurs. So every time you have an earthquake after that, you get that same feeling and you go through it over and over again.
I found the opposite, Renee. I found that I needed a stronger and stronger quake to feel them. When I first moved to San Francisco, there was like a 3.5 or a 4. And, I said, oh my God, what's happening? The earth is, and then now a 4, I don't even feel it. It's got 5.5 or 6.
It's like when you finally have really good sex, and then all of a sudden you have more good sex. After a while, it has to be really good for it to be better.
Yeah.
I was just going to say, stop talking about your sex life.
Jeff had his hand up.
Yeah.
Jeff?
Oh yeah, I'm just very curious as to the whole thing because I don't know much about it at all, in fragmatically. I lived in Iowa at one time, and we had some kind of trauma.
Yeah.
And that that woke everybody up for an hour, and then it was gone for the rest of our lives.
Those are called crop circles.
Well, most people don't live. People who first come out to California are afraid of the earthquakes. I grew up with them, so I wasn't afraid of them. It was just each one had a little terror with them. Yes, Ray.
Yeah, Renee, I'm just wondering where you are in Hawaii because I've been there a lot.
Okay, so I am close to the big resorts on the Kahala coast.
Oh, okay. So you're out in the middle of the lava fields, the old lava field.
Oh, I'm in the desert area.
Oh, okay. Okay.
There's a desert in Hawaii?
There's lava in Hawaii too. Yeah. So yeah, there's desert in Hawaii.
There's snow in Hawaii if you look for it.
You can ski there.
So normally, how I take the iPad and I show you around the deck and point it out and I say, if you can see that mountain way back there, that's where the observatories are. You can't even see a mile away from us.
The ash?
Well, it's just all the weather's just on that part of the island.
Wow.
So.
Wow.
And then the airlines are going, yeah, maybe what we're going to do is give people a ticket so that they can get off earlier.
Yeah.
Jeez,
so I think a lot of the scientists are here, but you can't do the boat tour. I haven't checked to see if the boat tour was available.
You ever lived near an earthquake area or anything like that?
Not on a regular basis. I've been through them. We had one here in Virginia back in 2011.
You had one in Washington, D.C. That's why they had to close down the Washington Memorial.
Monument.
That's right. I was through that one. That one shook the building I was working at pretty good. We were all like, what the?
But that's an area that's not used to it, right?
Correct.
Yeah, see, I worry about this is ridiculous, the fracking down in these southern states, Missouri and places like that. They should not be allowed to do that because none of those homes are built for earthquake anything.
Are you getting these earthquakes because of fracking in Hawaii?
No,
it's Mother Nature wins. Yeah, exactly. Yes, Ray.
Wins.
So, Renee, are you thinking about like whether or not you should move, or at least on a temporary basis?
She's from San Francisco. She's been through this.
No, there may not be a better place that you can go, but at least you're familiar with it.
Well, I think she's pretty safe where she is for the time being. Yes, Ray.
Renee, I'm just looking at the map here where you are. I remember last time I drove on that road, and right in front of me was a big lava flow running down the mountain. Right.
Well, so if everybody's looking at a map, you're going to be looking at the left side of the island, which of course in this case is the west side. But you need to look at the very top point. It's called Hawaii.
Yeah, Hawaii. Yeah, I've been there. Yeah, I did the Ironman. I went through Hawaii.
You did the Ironman?
Yeah, in '83. Yeah.
Jesus, wow! More power to you, buddy. Whoa. So
he's the matinee idol of the citizens panel.
No kidding. He acts nice. Does a dog's wife? This is great. So I'm between Kauai High and Hawaii.
Okay. And Hawaii is right next to it is Nagila, right?
Beautiful there.
Hawaii and Nagila. You get it? Oh, I made a joke. Hey, listen, this has been great. And talking to you, being there in Hawaii when the whole world's talking about the volcano out there.
Explosion.
It was the lead story tonight on NBC News.
Good.
Lead story. Just keep safe. And
thank you.
Stay inside. Don't breathe the air. And just remember, you're in paradise. Yes, Phil, thank you so much for calling tonight. Thank you, Kevin, for being with us. Tony, glad you finally got your microphone working. Renee, stay safe. Rob, thanks for calling. Appreciate it. And the same to you, Ray, and the same to you, Jeff. Are you traveling back from California soon?
In the morning.
Okay,
in the morning we're coming back home.
Travel safely, everybody. I think you should give a big wave goodbye to everybody so they could miss you a lot. Okay, bye-bye, everybody. That's our citizens panel for tonight. Let me get rid of them here. Let's see. I wonder if they're still going to be able to talk to each other. Well, I've shut everything down on this end, so I don't think there'll be that problem. But who knows? Anyway, listen, we got on late tonight because there were problems. The show was going one way and then another. And finally, we settled down to some really good discussion and a first-hand report of the volcanic action in Hawaii. I'm Alex Bennett. We'll be back here on Tuesday, right after the exchange with Damian Chaplin. Next is The Intersection with Jack and Amy, and right after that at 1 o'clock in the morning Eastern Daylight Time will be Connections. I'm about to sneeze here. Will be Connections. In the meantime, I'll see you on Tuesday. Same time, same station in life. In the meantime, if you see her, tell her I love her, okay? Bye.